darlings, how are we doing today? Hope we're having a great day today. First off, what do you guys think about me calling your darlings my darlings as opposed to hey guys? Let it simmer. Taste it. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Which do you prefer, hey guys or hey darlings? But for now, we're sticking to hey darlings. Hey darlings, welcome back to my channel. I'm Efe, and if this is your first time here, please don't make it your last by clicking on the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up, and if you're feeling extra generous, leave your comments below and click on the notification bell so you know whenever I post. Today I'm gonna be talking about the royal family in Charles, formerly Prince Charles. So this past weekend the coronation happened, and the streets of the internet has been buzzing with different opinions. Some people who don't like the new queen consort, some people don't think she deserves to be queen. King Charles's past, Princess Diana, the whole story. We have people who totally support everything, the royal family, and then we have the set of people who don't just give a damn about it, but I care, so I'm going to talk about it. So here we are. Today I'm not going to be doing my makeup. I know this was a segment that was supposed to be makeup and history or makeup and whatever I was going to say, but I just felt like I was going to be overwhelmed with the makeup, and so I'm not doing that today. Like I said, it's a mood thing. So today I'm just going to be sipping my tea while I give you the tea. Get it? This past weekend Prince Charles was coronated and he became King Charles III. Camilla was crowned the queen consort, and it was a whole festival. There was a concert, and the whole world watched. Millions of people watched the coronation, and it was just the buzz. And like I said, some people were like, it's not fair. I'm gonna tell you why. We have to go back to King Charles's first marriage. That's where we're going to right now. Yeah, we're going there. I'm taking you there. So King Charles was born on the 14th of November 1948 to the Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. He was the oldest and the heir to the throne of England. He has 3 siblings. We have Princess Anne, Prince Andrew, and Prince Edward. King Charles was educated at Chime and Gordon. If I cannot pronounce it, I'm just gonna write it down here. We know the drill, okay? Let's not act surprised. I can't pronounce most things, so I just write it down here, okay? So he was educated at these schools. After earning a Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Cambridge, Charles served in the Royal Air Force and Navy for 5 years, from 1971 to 1976. He founded the Prince's Trust in 1976 and sponsors the Prince's Charities, and is a patron and president or member of over 800 charities. So he does a lot. He does a lot of charities and all of that. Let's get to the main gist. I just wanted us to know a little bit about him. You know, it won't be fair if you don't know a little bit. So let's dive into Prince Charles's relationship with his first wife, the beautiful Princess Diana. Prince Charles met Diana in November 1977. Now, it wasn't clear if they had met previously before now, because Princess Diana was actually family friends with the royal family, so it's possible they were always in the same circle. But in 1977 was when they officially met, like when he started noticing her, you know. Yeah, so he met Princess Diana while he was actually dating Princess Diana's sister Sarah. Dun dun dun. We just got off to a juicy start, didn't we? Yeah, be patient. I can explain. Okay, relax, guys. At this time, Prince Charles was the most eligible bachelor. Obviously, he was the Prince of England, and there was so much pressure for him to get married, to find a wife, future queen and all of that. So he had numerous relationships, and one of the people he actually dated was Sarah, who was Diana's elder sister. One day when Prince Charles came to see his girlfriend, his then girlfriend Sarah, he was introduced to Diana. Prince Charles was 29 at the time and Diana was 16 at the time. She was still a child. She was 16. But Sarah and Prince Charles's relationship was short-lived because they were not just compatible and they went their separate ways. In fact, Sarah was quoted saying she wouldn't marry Charles if he was the dustman or the king of England. Salty. Obviously, Sarah saw something in Charles that Diana could not see. I mean, you wouldn't blame her. She was just a child. She was just 16. Okay, she didn't really have any experience. Diana had a different impression of Charles. She was said to have told her friends that one day she was going to marry Charles, and laughing that he was the only man on the planet who is not allowed to divorce me, because back then divorce was not allowed in the royal family. So yeah, that was the point of that. But in Diana's later years, she recalled the incident of them meeting as somewhat differently, telling author Andrew Morton that her first thought upon meeting the Prince of Wales was, God, what a sad man. While Prince Charles recalls his first thoughts at the first meeting, I remember thinking what a jolly and amusing and attractive 16-year-old she was. I mean, great fun, bouncy, and full of life and everything. You know, she was just living a teenage fairy tale, teenage fantasy, you know. I mean, then imagine meeting your Prince Charming, you become a princess, you get married, and you live happily ever after. The end. But that's just cartoons and movies and fantasies they sell to us. But this is real life. So the story doesn't end here. It keeps going. After the first meeting, Charles and Diana did not start dating till after the relationship had ended with Sarah. See the way I'm calling their name. The Nigerian in me is like, see the way you are calling their name as if they are your mates. But that's their name. That's how they refer to themselves. So it's not a big deal. Yeah, but the Nigerian in me feels like saying uncle or auntie. So Charles and Diana were first photographed together by paparazzi in September 1980, and this bothered and scared Diana so much because she knew anytime Charles was photographed with a lady, there was this whole commotion of, is she the new is she the bride to be, is she the future queen, who is she, blah blah blah. And this put a lot of pressure on Charles, and Diana knew this. Diana knew that Charles was a very sensitive and complicated man, and things like this tend to stress him out. So this scared Diana, and she like she cut out, man. She was like, I'm not doing this, man. I can't, no. But it was already too late. The media already knew who she was, and they started stalking her. This was when the obsession with Diana started. They found out where she lived, who her family was, where she worked, when she went to work, when she came back from work. It was just boogers. How do they say that? It was insane. The attraction between Diana and Charles was reported to have actually started at Prince Charles's uncle's funeral. Prince Charles had recently lost his uncle, and the uncle was so dear to him because he was Charles's mentor and one of the few people he felt genuinely cared and loved him. So he was pretty distraught at this point, and Diana was right there with a shoulder to cry on. This drew Charles's attention proper like okay, I see something. He just thought of her as a very warm, compassionate, and understanding person, and it was reported that throughout that event, Charles was just following Diana everywhere she went to. So that was, I think, his first real towards Diana, and that's how they became close and friends and everything. Before I move further, a little bit about Diana. Diana was born on the 1st of July 1961 to John Spencer, and Frances Roche. Diana's father was a very rich landowner and very prominent in the British aristocracy. So Diana was born into British nobility and grew up close to the royal family. Diana was already described as a very loving, warm, nurturing child. That was her nature. Diana worked as a teacher's assistant because of her nature, her warm nature. So kids tend to people in general gravitated towards her. She wasn't typical nobility, aristocracy. She was more down to earth, and this kind of made her like different from other people of her class. She wasn't a snob. She was very relatable to the common man. So this just made people love her. So after the first photograph of Charles and Diana together and the whole frenzy media madness happened, rumors started flying that they were dating and she was going to be the future queen of England because she checked all the boxes. She was beautiful, she was photogenic, she was warm, she was young and was of perfect age to bear children, and she was a virgin. So she was pure because apparently the queen must have no past. So Princess Diana really did not have any experience. She didn't have anything to bounce this relationship off of. Members of the monarchy also described Diana as not being that bright. They felt like she wasn't really educated. She was just like a teenager. She hasn't gotten all that education yet. But the royal family thought this was perfect. It was perfect. It was gold because they could mold her into becoming what they wanted, into becoming the perfect queen of England. And this was what Prince Charles wanted, someone who made him look good, someone who would be his shadow.
Charles felt that he could impose his own personality on her, and she would become a kind of female complement to him.
In a TV interview, the 21-year-old Charles said,
"Whoever I choose is going to have a jolly hard job, always in my shadow."
Because, he was the big deal. He was the real deal. So he thought. Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip both approved of Diana because, she was perfect. She ticked all the boxes. And although Prince Charles was not so thrilled, he saw why she would be the perfect princess.
The pedigree is perfect. Her father is the 8th Earl Spencer, a wealthy landowner who farms 15,000 acres in the heart of the Northamptonshire countryside. The family link with the royal family dates back to Queen Victoria's reign and before.
And he knew he had to get married soon, because his family, the royal family, the media were like, Charles, TikTok, Charles, TikTok. You're not getting any younger. And he knew he had to get married to get everybody off his back. And he was like, what the hell? In February 1981, Charles asked Diana to marry him. She said yes. She was 19 at the time Prince Charles asked for her hand in marriage. And Prince Charles was about 31 at this time. And, beautiful young Diana had no idea what she was getting herself into. Like, she really had no experience. She was a woman with no experience. She had no past relationship to bounce certain things off of, so she couldn't really detect red flags, in the relationship, and she just went right into it. Princess Diana was so excited to marry Prince Charles. In fact, there was an interview where the interviewer asked, "Are you both in love?" And Princess Diana was like, "Of course, sure. What do you mean? We're in love. Of course we are." And Prince Charles was like, whatever in love means.
And I suppose in love.
Of course.
Whatever in love means.
Well, it
Put your own interpretation.
But like I said, she was really young and she was just in the moment, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like she should have been guided more from her family, but I guess maybe they were just so excited that their daughter was getting married to the Prince of England, you know. I wasn't there. Going through this story, knowing how it's going to end, just makes me but the show must go on. The way Diana must have processed this was like, he loves me. I think he loves me. I mean, he asked me to marry him. He wouldn't ask me to marry him if he doesn't love me. He must love me to ask him to marry him. That is why, ladies, guys, we need to know the difference between someone who wants to get married and someone who wants to get married to us. There's a difference. There are people who just want to get married just for the sake of getting married, just to tick that box. You understand? They just let me write, might don't do this one, do might put woman for house, or might put man for house. You understand? While there are some people who they want to get married, they know they're ready for that, but it's you they want to get married, or it's because of you they're even thinking of marriage. Or if it's not you, like, I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So know the difference between someone who wants to get married and someone who wants to get married to you. Yeah. So moving on, it's not about us right now. It was widely rumored that Prince Charles was not in love with Diana because he was in love with someone else. You must be wondering, well, who was he in love with? How can he not be in love with her? Who was he in love with? Where was his heart? Well, I'm going to tell you. Prince Charles was in love with Camilla. Yes, his present wife and queen. Yes, he was in love with her back then. Now here's the gist. We have to go far back, like further than before he met Diana. We have to go back, rewind. Camilla and Prince Charles, they met at a polo match in the 70s. And they started dating. We're not really sure when exactly, but it was rumored to be around the 70s. They started dating, and he and Camilla were about the same age. They were in their 20s. They were about 20. Camilla was just 6 months older than Charles. They got along perfectly. From the first time they met, they realized they had similar personalities. Camilla had a loud and lively personality, and she liked to tease and make jokes with Charles. She liked to tease and joke with Prince Charles, and anyone who was around them could tell that the chemistry between both of them was wow. Prince Charles wanted to marry her then, but Prince Philip, Prince Charles's father, disapproved of this. He was like, Camilla wasn't noble enough. Although Camilla came from a rich family, but she wasn't, you know, there are levels to this thing. She wasn't on their level. Rude. She wasn't on their level, so he couldn't marry her. And apart from that, she had a past. She was an experienced woman. She wasn't a virgin. According to the British rules, I guess, a queen must have no past.
It's absolutely vital to have on the throne somebody who was a virgin. A future queen must have no past.
So that was another issue, and Prince Charles was distraught about this, but that was where his uncle and mentor came in and was like, you're too young to even commit to anybody anyways. You know, go out there, have fun, sow your wild oats, you know, hit them ladies. You know, you're a king, you can have a past. Your queen cannot have a past, but you can hit that. Yeah, basically. That's not what he said. I wasn't there. I wasn't in the conversation. That's how I interpreted it. Prince Charles listened to his uncle. And that was when he went into the Royal Air Force and Navy, sowed his wild oats and whatnot. And by the time he came back, after about a year or so, he found out that Camilla had gotten married to someone else, and now she was Camilla Bowles, and this broke Charles's heart. But the two remained friends, you know, friends. besties, but people could still see the chemistry between them, and it turns out that was what Sarah, Diana's elder sister, had noticed. Like at parties, she would see how they were so cozy, how they were so friendly, you know body language now, you cannot hide all these things. When you feel something, you feel it. So she noticed that, and being of age, she noticed, and that was when she was like, oh, that's why you're the way you are, that's why you're in love with this lady, that's why you can't even see other ladies. And she backed out, which I kind of feel she should have told her sister too. I mean, you're a big sister. Maybe Sarah was a bit pissed that Diana was getting with her man. I mean, she wanted to be queen and her younger sister just came, but I wasn't there, I don't know, but I just feel like she should have guided her sister a bit more. Diana was young and didn't really know much, so I feel that was kind of fake of her sister. That was but I don't know the situation, so can't really blame her. It's possible she even told the Diana, but maybe she didn't listen. We weren't there, we don't know what happened. Okay, we're just speculating. Okay, so after the engagement was announced and the whole frenzy started, that okay, they were gonna get married and everything, Camilla actually befriends Diana, and Diana was welcoming towards her because obviously she was a close friend to her husband to be, so they became friends. Camilla would advise Diana on how to deal with Charles. Camilla knew a lot of personal things about Charles, how to make him happy, how to treat him nice and all of that. She knew a lot of things about this, and Diana didn't really suspect that much. She thought it was weird, but she didn't really think much of it. She just attributed it to their closeness and everything. And after the announcement of the engagement, Diana felt abandoned. The royal family never really asked of her. She couldn't go anywhere because of the paparazzi, media and everything. So they didn't really reach out. And even her husband to be, she could not find that man. He was nowhere to be found. And even before they got engaged, their relationship was actually based on the phone. They actually met just like 16 times before the engagement. Like I said, she was a child. She didn't see all these things. But anyhow, she couldn't reach her husband during this time of engagement. At some point, Prince Charles was supposed to travel for royal duties for like 6 months. And a day before, he and Diana finally met. And Diana was trying to have a conversation, get to know her husband to be. And while they were having this conversation, Camilla had called on the phone, and Prince Charles just started conversing with Camilla on the phone as if Diana wasn't there. He totally blocked her out and focused on Camilla, and this just made Diana feel this was light bulb moment for Diana, that this was more than friendship. Like, if Prince Charles preferred spending his last night around talking to his friend Camilla, that means he didn't love her, he loved Camilla. And this was when everything just started, the wheels started turning, it started turning in her head. And she went to her sister and she was like, I can't do this, he doesn't love me, he's in love with this other lady, blah blah blah, I cannot do this. And the sister just basically told her the truth, like, see, you can't back out of this right now, okay? Your face is everywhere, it's on everything, it has been announced. You want to cancel a royal wedding? No, you just have to buckle up and take it all in, take it in. You can't do that right now. And I totally see where the sister was coming from, but I don't know if I see it or not safe. I don't know, because if my youngest, well, who was she? It was the royal family, for God's sake. And this was affecting Diana mentally, and she felt like she had no control over her life, and she started having a eating disorder. She felt like she couldn't control any other thing in her life. The only thing she could control was getting herself sick, so she started getting herself sick. She became bulimic, I think that's the word. If it's not, I'll write the correct one down here. So she was making herself sick. She just had a eating disorder. During that period, Diana realized Prince Charles was in love with Camilla. She confronted Prince Charles, and Prince Charles was like, no, they're just friends. Okay, he has ended everything, he's sorry, he loves her, blah blah blah. That was why she went on with a little ease into the marriage. Now the wedding was so beautiful. Her dress still goes down in history as one of the most beautiful things you would ever see. She looked so beautiful. It was a real fairy tale wedding. Millions of people came, millions of people watched from all over the world. You know, the world was so excited, and yeah, it was a beautiful wedding. Now let's get on to the marriage. While they were on their honeymoon, Diana found out that Prince Charles had Camilla's photos in his journal. Like, she opened his journal and there was Camilla's photos, and Queen and Princess Diana was like, what the hell is this? Why do you have her photos? And he was like, relax, you're overreacting, you're being irrational, she's just my friend. You know, those trigger words. You're being I wasn't there, but I'm guessing that was what was said. So she finds the photo, the confrontation, and Prince Charles was like, no, it's nothing, it means nothing, blah blah blah. Also, Diana found out that Prince Charles had gotten a bracelet done and had some letters engraved on the bracelet, and Diana knew what that meant because she and Camilla already had a conversation of the nicknames Camilla and Prince Charles had for each other, and that was what was inscribed in the gold bracelet. And Diana was like, what have I gotten myself into? These people. 2 years after Princess Diana gave birth to Prince William, she was an amazing mother. The whole world was happy that another heir to the throne had been born, and Diana was so protective of her child. And this was a problem to the royal family because members of the royal family are expected to perform certain duties, like going out, traveling, touring, meeting different charities and different organizations. But Princess Diana did not want to do that. At least she did not want to do that without taking her child. The royal family were known for leaving their kids for months upon months going for these tours, and Princess Diana was like, I don't know you people like that. We're not cool like that. I'm not leaving my baby with you guys. This caused a little friction between her and Prince Charles, but also Prince Charles had huge respect for her as a mother, because even he himself, his mom always left him alone for these tours, and he kind of resented his mom for that. So he had respect for Diana as a mom. But at some point, Diana realized she had to perform her duties, and she started warming up to the idea of going out and doing all these tours. And Diana started getting involved with what the royal family would describe as unusual charities. Diana was so relatable. Diana single-handedly made the monarchy seem so relatable, because before her, the monarchy was like untouchable, unrelatable. They were like, people could not really relate. They were not humanized. Let me use that word. But Diana humanized them. She got involved with HIV charities, different charities, heavy loaded charities that the royal family was not really used to getting involved to. At that time, HIV was new and had this huge stigma, and people weren't really educated about it, and people believed you could contact HIV just by touching someone who had HIV. And since Diana was opportuned or privileged to be educated about this, there's a famous clip where she hugged an HIV patient, and this was huge news. These educated people like, okay, you can't get it like that, and it just made her seem human. She would shake people without her gloves. The royal family, they don't get touched, or they don't shake people without their gloves, but she removed her gloves. She shook people. She had real life relationship with people, and this pissed Prince Charles off, because Diana was getting more attention than him. Even the Queen wasn't so thrilled about this. The Queen was like, why don't you just get into charities? Like, rescuing animals and all of that. And Diana was like, no, there are people, human beings who actually need help, and that's what she's gonna do. And that's what she did. She little Princess Diana was not conforming. She was not behaving herself, and they did not like this. They thought she was gonna be easy to control and, you know, manipulate and all of that, but she was a tough lady. She did what she wanted, and that's how she got coined as the queen of people's princess of people's hearts also. And yeah, with her doing all these things, she got more attention. That so at some point the media wanted to see more of Diana. You know, when they're going in their motorcade and all of that, there's a place where Prince Charles will always sit so the media could see him properly. The paparazzi started demanding that Diana sits there because they wanted to photograph her. It got to the point where if Prince Charles comes alone to an event, people got disappointed because they were there to see Diana. Diana was not the shadow Prince Charles wanted. Instead, she was a superstar. He now became the shadow, and he did not like that. And like we said before, Charles was very sensitive, insecure and all of that, and this pissed him off, and Charles started to hate Diana. Like, he could not stand the envy, you know what they call envy from inside your own house was a lot. There's a clip I saw of when Prince Charles was signing something and Diana's head was tilted down, so her hat was covering her face, and people were snapping, you know, this okay, clip. All Diana had to do was raise her head like this a little bit, and the paparazzi went mad, flashes everywhere. So she was a superstar, and this did not sit well with them. The affair between Prince Charles and Camilla continued for years on years. Camilla even got divorced. I think she got married again, I'm not sure. But they were still having those what's it called? The affair. And seeing this, Diana was like, you know what? Screw you. If you're gonna do it, I'm gonna do it too. And it was rumored that Diana also started having affairs of her own. And at some point, Diana had an interview with an author where she talked about the royal family, how they did not respect her, how they didn't care for her. She just gave the author, you know, certain gist, but when it gets published, she's not involved in it. She's just gonna, I don't know where it came from, I don't know.
My immaturity, which was enormous. I thought that he was very much in love with me, which he was. It was sort of had the besotted look about him, looking back at it, but it wasn't the genuine sort.
I guess this was just her hit back. This was her fighting back at the royal family after taking so much from them. She was just fighting back. So when this book came out that she gave details to, someone else released conversations. It wasn't Diana, she was not involved in that. Released conversations of between Camilla and Prince Charles, which proved that the story of the book that was published was true. Prince Charles was an adulterer. He was, because at first, people, when the book came out, people were blaming Diana, that Diana was controlling, she was not conforming, yada yada yada, she's the reason for the problems in the marriage and all of that, because people could see that there was something wrong. Prince Charles would always ignore Princess Diana in public, was kind of mean to her and all of that in public. So people were like, it's Diana's fault. But when these conversations came out between Camilla and Prince Charles, everyone hated Charles. Everyone understood where Diana was coming from and everything. And this drove Prince Charles mad. Prince Charles was like, get rid of her. He doesn't want to see her. He doesn't want to have anything to do with Diana anymore. And he was done. So in 1996, if I'm not mistaken, they got divorced. Prince Charles also came out on national TV and admitted to the cheating and everything. Intended to embarrass Princess Diana. But she was like, no. Which brought the famous revenge dress. The first appearance she made after the divorce was official. She had this beautiful black dress, bringing out her curves, her clip, everything, and people were like, damn, she is hot. And even after Diana had divorced Prince Charles, she was still a big deal. She was princess of people's hearts. She was still going on with her charities, her tours. She was still a superstar. At this time, she was dating, you know, living her life, getting her experience. She was dating an Israeli doctor, rich dude, and they were living their life. But unfortunately, this is the part I hate. In 1997, in France, Paris, France, Princess Diana, her boyfriend, and the driver of the car got involved in a huge accident which was caused by paparazzi. Seemingly, they had gone out and the paparazzi was chasing them, you know, trying to get photos, and they got into a car wreck, and Princess Diana did not survive. And there's so many conspiracy theories that it was the royal family that got rid of them, blah 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 blah. Those are just conspiracies. There are no concrete proofs, and I dabble into conspiracy, but I don't fully. If there's no proof, you can't really. Yeah, unfortunately she died, and her death came as a shock to millions of people, and it was just so sad. And she left behind her 2 sons who were so young, and it was just terribly sad. And yeah, after that, Prince Charles and Camilla started dating again and officially got married in 2005, and they are still married, and they recently became the king and queen consort of the British monarchy. Yeah, so we've got into the present. That's basically the story. So now the lessons we've learned. Many people have been making fun, and they're like, Camila is the ultimate side chick. Camila is proof that the side chick can become queen, yada 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 yada. And my question is she really the side chick? Like, can someone actually be the side chick when she was originally the first choice? I'm not in support of that. I'm genuinely asking for an opinion. Like, it's a conversation that needs to be had. She was the first choice, but so many rules. But now let me give my own opinion. I feel like if he wanted to get married to her so bad, he should have done what his uncle did. I think Prince Williams, that was his name also. Yeah, I'm a bit fuzzy about that. Prince William wanted to get married to a lady, but because of the monarchy and its rules, which stated that he had to step down from being king to get married to the love of his life, and he did, and everybody lived happy ever after. Instead of marrying this lady, ruining the child's life and just ruin her life, hence extending the pain to your own kids from losing their mom at a young age and all of that, I feel like he should have just stepped down and married her if he wanted her that badly. You get, you know? That's one. Then I feel like from Diana's part, she had this hero, I don't know if that's the right word to use. She had this hero complex, and I feel everybody, including me, I used to have that thing. Like, when you see someone who is sad, distraught, like you feel like the person is broken and you try to fix them. You know, when you're trying to make someone perfect, you're trying to change someone and make them perfect for you, you know, and not just like them the way. I don't know if I'm explaining properly. When you're trying to save someone, and this is proof that it causes a lot of problem. I've experienced it myself. You know, when you're trying to save someone, make them good, like a bad boy or a broken person, you're trying to make them good for you. Sis, it doesn't work. If you don't break, you're not a carpenter or a builder or whatever. Let it be. You have to know when to stay and when to leave. That's another thing. And the final lesson here, I feel, is life isn't fair. Life isn't a fairy tale. Life doesn't give too about anybody. Life is, we don't even know what it is. Like, how can someone who seemed so pure, beautiful, who was in the right, like, if you want to look at it, she was in the right, she was supposed to get everything, but she dies in pain, struggling and all of that, while the lady who is supposed to be the homebreaker and all of that, yada yada yada, has become queen. You know, it just goes to show that it's a dog eats dog world. It's not fair, it's not a straight line, life is complicated. Just have your own back, be guarded. There's something I read, someone said, it was on Talking Making, was podcast. The lady was like, bad things happen to unsuspecting good people. Bro, no matter how good you are, you have to be guarded. Like I say, whenever I listen or read the story or watch it, it just hurts my heart to see how, you know, just goes to, I mean, the supposed side chick is the queen right now. So it's a messed up story, but you know, what can we say? It's the reality of things. And yeah, I've come to the end of this story. I forgot about my tea since it's even cold now, because this gist. So guys, please leave your opinion in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the story, and please, I am open to fact checking. If you feel there's anything I left out or I was supposed to add or something I got wrong, please leave it respectfully in the comment section. And yeah, we've come to the end of this one, and I really hope you guys enjoyed the story, and I hope to see you guys again really soon. So please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, leave your opinions in the comment section, and click on the notification bell if you want to, so you know whenever I post. All right, darlings, bye.